Good evening, everyone. Thank you for showing up. It is December the 20th, 2022. The year is almost gone. Is that crazy or what? We are Sans My Beautiful Life tonight. He will be back with us next week. In the interim, I will go ahead and read our disclaimer and go through all of this. There we go. So our disclaimer, because we talk about a natural product, and I'll show you all about that later. Because we do, the FDA requires that we have a disclaimer, which simply states that any products are not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure, or prevent any disease. This presentation is not intended to provide diagnosis, treatment, or medical advice. Any product, services, or information or other content provided in this presentation, including information that may be provided in the presentation directly or by linking to third-party websites, are provided for informational purposes only. Please do consult your physician or your favorite healthcare practitioner regarding any medical or health-related diagnosis or any treatment options. Now, that being said, we're talking about glutathione and prevention. We just said we're not presenting products that are intended to prevent any disease process. And that is true. But if you go to the National Institute of Health website and do a simple search, glutathione and prevention, you will come up with almost 28,000 articles, starting all the way back in 1933. But that one did mention that they presume glutathione was not part of the preventive process for this one. Interest started ramping up around 1975. That was the first year they had over 20 articles written on the subject. In 2020, there were a whopping 1,550 articles written on the subject. And this year, almost last year now, 1,370 more articles written on glutathione as it relates to prevention of something. Glutathione is our master antioxidant. It's a key component in our redox physiology, hormone production, energy production, our immune function, of course, and that's the main thing, and cellular proliferation, which is your cell's ability to divide and make clones of themselves. Now, the product we're talking about is called Immunocal. It was discovered by doctors Bonos and Kongshaven, and it was not intended, not discovered as something to prevent anything. Dr. Wolf Droge also did a lot of research on Immunocal. It is a whey protein isolate. It's not whey protein. It's isolated from undenatured whey protein. And this excerpt from the physician's desk reference kind of puts the whole thing in perspective. Immunocal assists the body in maintaining optimal concentrations of glutathione by supplying the precursors required for intracellular glutathione synthesis, that is, your cell's own ability to create glutathione within themselves. It is clinically proven to prevent disease. No, it doesn't say that. To raise glutathione levels. That is what Immunocal is clinically proven to do. Raise glutathione levels and strengthen your immune system. And that is what it does. So we're talking about, though, preventing. So what are we preventing? Oxidative damage, for one, because glutathione is your master antioxidant. prevents damage by oxidative stress to cells and cellular structures, including the mitochondria, which is your power plant for each and every cell, and of course your DNA, your most critical structure in all of your cells, your DNA, the code that tells your cells how to do everything and how to make more of themselves and how your body is made. But we're talking about preventive, so preventing what? These are a couple of articles on the subject. Reduced glutathione system, the role in cancer development, prevention, and treatment. There's one, cancer. Prevention of naphthalene-induced cataract and hepatic glutathione loss. Cataracts, actually in cataract research was where glutathione was discovered, was in cataract research over 100 years ago. Another one, the effect of dietary glutathione and coenzyme Q10 on prevention and treatment of inflammatory bowel disease. Another one, protective role of glutathione and glutathione transferases in mutagenesis and carcinogenesis, that is, the creation of cancer. And we also have potential use of glutathione for the prevention and treatment of diabetic neuropathy. Glutathione prevents the early asthmatic reaction and airway hyper-responsiveness in guinea pigs. And another one we found, thermodynamic role of glutathione oxidation by peroxide and peroxybicarbonate in the prevention of Alzheimer's and, again, cancer. So we have glutathione's role in prevention of cancer, cataracts, inflammatory bowel disease, cancer again, diabetic neuropathy, asthma, Alzheimer's, and cancer again. We know cancer is one of the main killers in today's society. So that is really a big one. One of the largest group of articles written is on glutathione's role with cancer. This was a very interesting article, N-acetylcysteine and glutathione, antioxidant and chemopreventive properties with special reference to lung cancer. Why do I bring this one out? Again, lung cancer, one of the most dangerous cancers, and as the abstract from Dr. Van Zendwick notes, lung cancer arises as a focal transformation of chronically injured epithelium, that is the cells in your lungs, with cancer smoke, is one of the well-recognized causes. He notes that metabolism of carcinogens, and there are so many in cigarette smoke, as well as the subsequent multi-steps of carcinogenesis, are affected by host factors and governed by the balance between opposing forces. And so he's talking about antioxidants and detoxification of the lungs. He notes that it seems to imply that carcinogenic compounds can initiate tumor growth only in amounts saturating detoxification mechanisms. And in this context, it is well known glutathione plays a crucial role in the detoxification of xenobiotics. It is actually one of your most critical detoxification substances in your body. In his studies, he was using N-acetylcysteine, which is a synthetic precursor to glutathione. We're talking about Immunocal, which is a natural precursor to glutathione. And he notes the anti-mutagenic and anti-carcinogenic properties of N-acetylcysteine could be ascribed to multiple protective mechanisms. And this all derives into NAC's ability to help your cells create glutathione. Another one we have, this was a very important one. Dr. Lensman has done a great deal of research with immunocal in particular and with glutathione in general. The cysteine-rich whey protein supplement, immunocal, preserves brain glutathione and improves cognitive, motor, and histopathological indices of traumatic brain injury in a mouse model of controlled cortical impact. This is a particular study on traumatic brain injury. He notes that it is a major health problem and not just to parts of the population who are in more danger of having a brain injury, but to all of us. Noting it affects nearly 1.7 million people, and this was a few years ago, actually, in 2019. 1.7 million people in the US annually are affected by traumatic brain injuries. Many of those suffer permanent loss of function or death. He notes they tested the whey protein supplement, immunocal in particular, for its potential to enhance the resilience of the brain to traumatic brain injury, noting it is a non-denatured whey protein preparation and has been shown to act as a cysteine delivery system similar to NAC, but superior to it, because instead of just including cysteine, it includes all of the cofactors needed for your body to create glutathione intracellularly. So they gave these mice immunocal twice a day for 28 days prior to the traumatic brain injury, noting that it prevented about a 25% reduction in brain glutathione as observed in untreated mice. So when you have a brain injury, a traumatic brain injury, the amount of glutathione in your brain immediately gets used up to combat the new free radicals created by the injury. So having started this therapy 28 days prior to the traumatic brain injury, was actually able to reduce by 25% the amount of loss of glutathione in the brain, even though it had no significant effect on the primary mechanical injury, that is the point of impact. Pre-injury supplementation did result in statistically significant improvements in motor function and cognitive function after the injury. They also observed significant preservation of corpus callosum, significant decrease in degenerating neurons, that is cell death within your brain, reduction of IBAL, decreased lipid peroxidation, and preservation of brain-derived neurotropic factor, which is one of the enzymes that helps your brain function. And this was all compared to the untreated mice who received the exact same traumatic brain injury. He notes that taken together, these data indicate that pre-injury supplementation with immunocal in particular significantly enhances the resilience of the brain to traumatic brain injury induced by moderate closed head injury. They concluded in this study that immunocal may hold a significant promise as a preventative agent for traumatic brain injuries, particularly in high-risk populations such as athletes and military personnel. They've gone on from this study and they're doing more studies on traumatic brain injury. But this is part of the prevention that we're talking about. So here's our glutathione molecule. Looks fairly simple. 3 peptides, glutamine, cysteine, and glycine. The cysteine being the one there in the middle with the sulfur bond on it. And I wanted to note that according to examine.com, which we like to refer to, although glutathione is critical for a number of processes in the body, it's limited as a use as a dietary supplement due to the rapid breakdown during oral ingestion. And this is true of a lot of the glutathione precursors, including NAC. You actually only get less than 10% of the N-acetylcysteine that you ingest actually gets to your cells. But with Immunocal, Immunocal is a bonded cysteine. It is specially formulated in nature to pass through the digestive system into the bloodstream and get that very critical cysteine into your cells. This is the way it was designed by nature to do. And so these synthetic versions don't quite do the same job. Examine.com notes that supplementation of glutathione is thought to support the pool of glutathione within your cells, but though there may be some absorption of glutathione intact from the intestines, it can't enter your cells intact. And that is why we're talking about precursors in getting the cysteine and the other 2 amino acids into the cell so the cell can make that glutathione inside. That's where all the magic happens, where it's able to detoxify your cells, your mitochondria, keep things running, and prevent things that can happen to us. And so, though the Immunocal itself is not intended to prevent anything, it is intended to help your body create glutathione. And the glutathione is what helps with prevention. And here's our product that we're talking about, Immunocal. It comes in 3 different types. We have the regular Immunocal, and you can see right there on the box, it says Immunocal or glutathione precursor, whey protein isolate with bonded cysteine. The Immunocal Platinum has the same 10 grams of Immunocal, the bonded cysteine, with 2 added formulas created by Dr. Droge, who we noted earlier, and these are intended to help alleviate bone loss and muscle loss for people who are who have issues with like osteoporosis or muscle wasting due to either over stress or some disease process. So thank you for coming in with us today. Really do appreciate this. Down below, you will find some information, including our website, phone numbers, links to other information. Please do like and subscribe, and visit our website and check out the other information that you find below. And my lovely wife will be back with us next week, which will be the 27th of December, right there at the end of the year. And we will see you then. Have a wonderful evening. And again, thank you for joining us.